And we did, over the course of this last week, have a conversation where Loydeen said that when I told her that the first option would require like a true breakup, that was off the table. Right. I feel like you should say things now.
Well, you just said what I was about to say.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, well, we also talked about how you wanted me to think about just you and not with the kids, and I told you I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like it's a package. I mean, it is you and the kids, and it always has been from,
yeah.
you know. Yeah, I mean, I'm not willing to put our family through that. I'm not willing to put our kids through that. I don't think lying would be the answer. I just think that I would have to go through all the hard things that would take to come back. But, yeah, I mean, that's just, I don't want out of our family. That's not what I want, so.
Right. So, and I think it came up in the context between us where, you know, I know your stories, right, from your past, and how, like, fighting for the people in your life is something that you have done and do. And just feeling like I think the way I phrased it was like, why won't you fight for me? Like, what is it about me that you're not like willing to fight for? And you're like, well, there was only one person with each of those, and so I felt like I was fighting for my life, right? And so it was in that, which is a terrible way to bring this up because there's so many more things to say about that, I guess, but like but in that context, it was like, but I would never allow it to be the first option where we literally ended.
Yeah, I mean, we aren't breaking up, and so that's what, I don't know.
So there's nothing to fight. I mean, like, that is the fight, is to not break up.
I mean, the fight is that I'm fighting for us not to be done. I'm fighting to figure this out so it doesn't, so that we do heal from it, so that we do have, that it is you and I. I'm fighting for it to be our family. I'm fighting for it to be, I mean, that is the fight, you know, is that I want this, and that is what I want, and so I'm fighting that we don't break up. I think it's just not, I mean, in the past you've heard about like the movie kind of version of fighting where it was like go all in and fight and, you know, beg and plead and send things and frankly lay myself down on railroad tracks to get someone back, to the point of getting them back, but I also lost them. And so I'm trying to get not to that point with you where I lose you or I'm having to fight to get you back, right? I mean, that is why we're having honest conversations. That is why. Yeah. That makes sense?
Yeah. Okay. No, I think it makes more sense than even before. Do you need tissue?
Yeah, I need tissue because I see tears in your eyes and then I cry. That's how it works.
Yeah, I don't know. You're on your own on that one. We're not very good at paper products around here. So I mean, I think it feels very vulnerable to be sharing all of this with other people, right? Because I think both of us have a protective instinct over the other. Again, feeling like I don't want to cheapen the experience so that you all kind of feel okay about both of us, right? But at the same time, I think both of us have a deep level of respect for what the other person is going through in this journey, right? And I guess I won't lie that there is a part of me that feels like maybe if Loydeen didn't watch The Bachelor so much, she wouldn't believe that you could be in love with two people at the same time. Because I think there's a lot of skepticism. Like every time we watch The Bachelor, which, dear God, they have so many bachelors. It's insane. It's never ending. But the idea that you know, they always, the Bachelor or the Bachelorette comes to like the last 2 seasons, they're like, I had no idea you could fall in love with 2 people. This is the crazy. And you're just like, oh my God, 28 other seasons before you, they've all said that the last two episodes. So do you think maybe you could? But I think that we are conditioned at a certain point in seeing that to be like, it's possible. But I think also when, you know, when you are, if you get still and quiet, I think that you know that you can carry more than one person, right, in your intimate spaces. That's real. I think as a mom, obviously it's different, that the love I have for my kids and the love I have for Loydeen, but they are competing priorities, and you know, and that's real. And I think the hard part in being in my position in this is that I don't want to, again, like, because I have kids, you know, they'll graduate, they'll go away, and then we will have a life. So I don't want to worry that, well, then you'll be like, okay, let me go find this person. That yacht sounds really great right about now. Right? And I want it to be me.
Yeah, we're gonna go on the yacht.
Just us, or we're gonna go on her yacht?
No,
Because that would just be uncomfortable. No, I think
not her yacht.
No, I guess
yacht.
Okay. I guess that's what I mean, is that, like, I just don't know what to do. Like, I don't know how to find a way for, outside of just, I mean, I guess this is the third option, which is, again, another, like, default option, is just wait, right? That time heals everything, and as we get deeper and more invested in one another, because that's what you do in an open and communicative marriage, not open like dating other people, but in a communicative marriage, I guess, you know, hoping then that eventually that does eclipse what you had in the past. I don't know how that might work, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel like I've talked this whole time and you've just sat here.
I know, I'm worried that because I'm uncomfortable, which I'm very uncomfortable right now.
Why are you uncomfortable?
I don't know. It's uncomfortable. What isn't? Nothing is comfortable about this. But I'm just saying that it probably looks as if, like, I don't care, and I'm just like, that's not true, obviously. Because I'm not as, like, engaging, so I'm just trying not to cry. And anyway, like the part you said about The Bachelor, like, I've been thinking about that, and I mean, I kind of agree. Like, I'm like, is it really that I'm in love with 2 people? Because I think it's more probably that I'm in love with you, and that there was not closure with her, and I'm like, mixing up the feelings of those old feelings coming back right away, you know, like because that's what I was saying. That's why I was saying it, is because it was immediately feeling those old feelings immediately upon hearing her voice, or, you know, my stomach going into my throat, or that, you know, all that can't breathe, like all that stuff was coming back, and so I was like, well, that must be what that is then, you know. But I think it's more just someone from my past, right, and the not closure, and so just feeling those old feelings surface. I don't know, that's the same thing, right, as being in love.
Like currently still in love. Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's new information.
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of bleeds into another conversation we've had, though, right, over the course of our relationship, which is, how do you know, right? Each of us has experienced unhealthy attachment styles and unhealthy relationships, and not that this was necessarily unhealthy in a way that, like, damaged you somehow, but I do think that because at least what you were able to experience with her wasn't lasting, or didn't work, right? Like, it was incompatible with you, that it was difficult for you to separate that from that's what love is. So then when it was easy, like breathing with me, you're like, is this love? Is this the same?
Which we had that conversation early on. Because I told Heidi that I was like, well, maybe this person, my ex, was not my person like I thought she was. But because I'd never, even when I'd felt in love before, I might have said this in the last thing, but I felt like that movie love that you're always waiting for. And so I was like, oh, this is what I need to look for and make sure this is what I have and not ever settle if I don't have this, even if it's not her. And then when Heidi, it felt different, I was like, am I allowed to choose this? Should I choose this? Is it, like, is this how it's supposed to feel? Or is that how it's supposed to feel? Because they feel very different. And so I was very confused on what is love? What is real love? What is lasting love? Which one is love? Are they both love? Is one just not a lasting love? What is healthy love? I mean, it was just very a mind fuck for me, honestly. And so we did have a lot of talk about that. And you talked to your therapist about it. And I was researching love and like a whole thing.
I feel like you need a therapist.
Yeah.
But I just think that, again, that for me has just sort of, I mean, I've been seeking a lot of reassurance from you, which you're great at, but I've been seeking a lot of reassurance from you, but we do have passion, and we do have, I mean, like, it's not that ours is just this boring, staid, best friends, raising
like
kids,
roommates or something,
like, that's not what our relationship is. It's just not tumultuous. It's not that you wake up in the morning and you're like, how do I not fuck it up today, right? Like, or how do I make sure that I do everything right, and so to ensure that this stays peaceful between us, right?
Like my last relationship, it wasn't like volatile or like lots of fighting, but it was me fighting for it all the time. I mean, it was a constant battle of fighting to not miscommunicate, fighting to not lose the person, fighting to make everything okay, fighting to let them feel safe, fighting to, get them to open up, fighting to get them back. I mean, it was just a constant that, right? And so I would tease that I would be more talking to my best friend on the phone about the relationship than in the relationship, because there was so much, and it was long distance, so anyway.
Well, I have to go get our kids.
Yeah.
So I think we have to...
So we'll do
revisit.
part 3.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys.